going on, everyone? Kelly Cavallari here, one half of 7 Era Media, and welcome to today's edition of the Honky Tonk Highway. Fourth weekend, episode 16, I believe. So I'm glad everyone has been joining us. If you haven't already, please like, follow, share, subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We're currently live on both, so thank you guys for joining us so far. Quick shout out to my boy Will Craig, who's back. Apparently, he took a little break from his TikTok videos. He decided to come back on. If you haven't, go follow him on TikTok. Will excite you. His videos are awesome, guys, so definitely check those out. So without further ado, this man is originally from Canada, now lives in Detroit. Really didn't change much in weather, so I don't know why he chose Detroit. Event director, choreographer, instructor extraordinaire, good friend of mine. Currently working the front lines, but he took a little break. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Derek Steele. What's up, D?
Hey, guys. How's everybody doing out there? Thanks
Good.
for having
Thank
me
you
on.
for joining me, man.
Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Can you guys hear me?
We can. So,
Okay.
for those who don't know you that much about you, why don't you give us a little history of how you got into line dancing?
Started back in the mid-90s, 95, I believe it was. My mother was an instructor. Basically started off with helping her at her classes, like DJ her dances, basically. 16, 17 years old, one night DJing, kind of looking out over the crowd, seeing what's going on. Called my buddy up, said, hey, you got to come help me with my mom's dance next weekend. You got to check this out. So we get there and he says, what's the big deal, dude? And I says, look at that. There's 100 people out on the dance floor and there's 99 girls and one guy. And that pretty much started. I was like, the odds are in my favor being, one of two guys on the dance floor with all those ladies. Flash forward a few years later, my wife's a dancer. That's how I met her. Boom, boom, boom. We got married and we've been together for almost 21 years, married 19 years in 2.5 weeks. So
congrats.
Thank you.
I'll have to send Tiffany a gift for putting up with you that long.
Yeah.
So, originally from Canada.
Yes.
What's it like being in the States? I know you've been here for a while, so.
Yeah, I've been here 19 years, actually a month ago. Really not where I'm at. I'm in Port Huron, which is about an hour north of Detroit, right on the mouth of Lake Huron. Basically, if you know Michigan is the thumb, we live right here in the thumb knuckle. You got to love being able to have your state on your hand. My wife is from Chicago. We started looking at, what was the best thing to do, move to Canada, me move to the U.S. At the time, it was, for me to move to the U.S., it was $95 and a stamp. And I could work right away versus for her to move to Canada was $3,000 and she could not work. And if it got denied, we lost $1,500. Living here in the U.S., it's in theory not much different than where I was born and raised in Wallaceburg, Thamesville area, which is basically about 45 minutes over the border. So same TV, same radio stations, with the exception of, we have better ketchup in Canada. So I have to go over there every now and then and import that back. But the foods are the same. A lot of it's, it really is the same. So.
Oh, yeah, especially being in Michigan, the weather didn't change. You still get the cold.
No. Yeah, still get the cold, still get the snow. Today it's been raining since like midnight last night. So we're getting that cold, dreary, damp. But this weekend they're telling us it'll be 60s and sunny, so we'll see.
Oh, that's nice. Your buddy JP Potter wants to know if Tiffany's looked into finding out how much Canada will pay to have you shipped back.
I'm seeing this now too, and yeah, my wife is right. They'd have to pay to get me back there. They don't want me either, I don't think. So,
what's the conversion rate? Good one, Jim. Good one. Yes. We do need the one thing I will say I do miss, and I love when I come up there is the ketchup flavored Lay's potato chips. I love those. I love it when you bring them when people from Canada come over to your event and bring them to me. That is the one thing.
I'll have to get you some and send you some down there.
I will gladly take them. I eat the whole bag. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, what made you want to start your own event? I know you have your own event up there with your lovely wife Tiffany and your friends Jason and Aaron Miller. What made y'all want to go into that realm?
So back again in the late 90s, my mother had an event, and she had one major event over the year, which was over the Canadian Thanksgiving, which is obviously the Windy City weekend now. I helped her with that, and then she used to do three other ones, like a winter, spring, and a summer event, and I kind of helped all along. When I moved over to the U.S., started dancing again and what have you, I started having a one-day event. My business partner and best friends, Jason and Aaron Miller, they had a one-day event. The one day, the four of us went out to dinner and to the movies, and I kind of leaned over to Jason and said, "Hey, what do you think? You want to lose a bunch of money or, break even?" And so basically, we were just, the first one we set out to hopefully not lose our houses and our cars and and everything, but it was always something that I wanted to do, was have that, 4-day event, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where we could get people from all over the world, all over from the country, local people to get together and have a good time. So it was always something in the back of my head. And with that relationship with the Millers, Jason and Aaron, it just seemed like the right fit. Each of us bring our own special talent to the team. Jason being on a financial wizard, for those that have been at Motor City, Erin's decorating and just her insight into what those the decorum is of the ballrooms. Mine was obviously dancing as long as I have and had a relationship with a lot of instructors and people within the dance world. Being able to go to them and saying, "Hey, I'm going to try this. What can you do? Can you help me out? Give me some insight, come teach, whatever." And then my wife, just the leveler of all of us, with the level head saying, "Hey, this is a business. Let's not get crazy and spend $40,000 on, balloons and instructors and everything else." And then she's just got that whole, very personable, very friendly personality that she runs all the hospitality and the transportation and just making sure that she's like that final stamp, making sure the glue that holds everything together, which has been perfect for us.
Yeah, huge kudos to Tiffany for having to deal with all y'all on that weekend, because it's like going in 5 different directions. But she does bring the sushi, which I'm totally okay with. She does go get the sushi.
And we love that Friday.
We do.
So that's always been a highlight to a lot of the instructors, is having that sushi on Friday night for that meal break.
Yes, it is. So what's it like trying to juggle? Because I know you teach at your own event. What's it like to try to juggle, trying to teach and still be the instructor / choreographer out there with everybody, and also be behind the scenes and having to be the event director?
So let me tell you, after the first year, I learned that you have to, as an event director, you have to limit yourself. My first year, again, doing it almost 20 years prior to that with my mother, even though I was part of the event, I didn't have those roles and responsibilities like I do with Motor City. So I had myself teaching once or twice. I think I would set myself to teach once a day. I did the opening teach Thursday, and then I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The first year we had some instructor travel issues, and instead of like asking, "Hey, John, can you pick up an extra class?" I just took it upon myself. Okay, I'll take it. No big deal. Since then, I've learned that, the second year I backed off a class, and now I've come to the conclusion that I'll do the opening teach, and I will do the Saturday at 1:00, and that'll be the unveil of my new choreography, and that is it, because there is a lot more work. Like a lot of hands-on, and it is really cool that we have 4 event directors that are so in tune with each other. Jason runs the registration flawlessly. Tiffany's constantly running all day long, talking to people, being the friendly face. Aaron is nonstop on decorations and getting stuff ready for the show. And then me just trying to make sure the instructors are getting everything they need. Jason, everything he needs. Excuse me, just everything. Trying to make it as perfect as we can for everybody. We see everybody that comes to the event as family members. So once you come to the Motor City Dance Classic, you're not only a friend, you're a family member to us for life. Most of the instructors know, once they become an instructor at Motor City, you're always an instructor at Motor City. You're always welcome. Just a lot of different things that we can do to make everybody feel as part of the family. And with me teaching so much, that just took away from that, and I didn't want that to be for me.
Does that include even when you get instructors locked in their bathrooms?
You know what? That particular gentleman, you know, and we can share that story about, you know, Mr. Joey Warren, about our old event hotel. Speaking of that, we are at a new location this year, the Somerset Inn, beautiful, gorgeous boutique hotel. We'll share some of that a little bit later in the interview, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, saving grace, I think he brought his iPad to the bathroom.
It was sitting on the sink,
sure,
he said.
I'm not quite sure why you bring an iPad into the bathroom. And maybe that's something when you interview Joey Warren, he can explain why you bring an iPad.
Why the iPad was in the bathroom with him. The phone wasn't, but his iPad was.
Exactly. You know, I can understand a phone is in your pocket, but Joey, what are you doing in the bathroom with an iPad? You know, saving grace. We got him out of the bathroom and he was there for his class. But,
yeah.
you know, all kidding aside.
And his roommate already left. His roommate was already down in the bar.
Yeah. You know, that's the one thing as being an instructor, a choreographer, an event director, you know, a floor guy, video guy. The stuff that you get to see behind the scenes at events are just phenomenal. And obviously some of them leak out, like being locked in the bathroom. But it's always a highlight of a weekend because there's always something that's going to happen that weekend that everybody's going to go, oh my God.
Yeah, Jill said he was practicing Apple Jacks in the shower. That would be a little slippery.
I don't know if I'd take that chance. You know, there's too many sharp objects in a shower. So no, I'm not taking that chance.
As Jim says, some questions we don't want answered, and we're probably right. I think I actually still have video footage of when your mom surprised you.
Oh,
we woke you up because yes. I think I had to go. I think I attached the GoPro up to the door when she opened the door and came and woke you up on Saturday morning of your event, and you didn't know she was coming.
No, I think that was, and I believe that was, it might have been year 2. I don't think it was year 1. It might have been year 1, but I think it was year 2. And yeah, it was
year 2 or 3 because I wasn't at year 1. Yeah, that was the only year I haven't been at.
And that was a complete shock for sure. Never to say the less. Like, for those who don't know my mother, Eartha, she was instrumental, obviously, in me doing what I do today. She's been instrumental in a lot of the big name choreographers that we see today. At her events, you know, Jamie Marshall was there, Pedro Scott, Mark Cosenza, Darian Amato, Brian Barakauskas, a lot of big names that we see now that were either big names then or working their way up to becoming big names today. And she always made sure that, you know, kind of like what we do, they had everything they needed when they needed it. And a lot of people, you know my mother, and I owe a lot to her for the man I am today, obviously.
Nice. Ever thought of going back and doing something in Canada?
There's always been a thought. I have done a few events, obviously in Canada. I've done Celebrate Dance. I've done the Canadian Line Dance Classic. You know, I would love to obviously put an event back in my home country. But with people already having events there, you know, that's just not the right time or place. If in the future something should arise, whether it's in my home area of, you know, Dresden, Wallaceburg, Thamesville area, or somewhere else in Ontario, you know, only time will tell. You know, out west, you know, even out east, you know, I love Quebec and Montreal. And I know they used to have dance events there. It seems more of a swing area now. I don't hear of a lot of line events there. But obviously, you know, Canada is always on my heart. You know, always got the Maple Leaf on. So, you know, I would love to, if not do an event there, at least be a participant in events that are throughout Canada because I am, you know, true Canadian.
Yeah, at least now your DJ's allowed back in the country.
Yeah, that's always nice.
Yes, JP. See, JP, there's a benefit if he goes back. You can go back now. So, we touched on that story in JP's, how he's now allowed back in Canada, which is good because I believe that's where his girlfriend is now. So,
I believe so. I believe she's in Vancouver or Victoria on the West Coast there. I know that.
Good thing he can go back to Canada. He can come visit you if you put an event there.
Yeah.
So, you still choreograph, you still teach. What's your favorite dance you've ever choreographed?
My favorite dance I've ever choreographed. That's a tough one. I have a lot that I really, really like. Um, It'll Be is very, I really, really like. Play that song. Music to My Eyes. I love that song from day one. Having the opportunity to collaborate with one of the greats, Simon Ward, was unbelievable. Um, but I would have to say probably Uma Thurman, only because it was kind of one of those things that another one of those things that kind of broke the mold again, where we were at that time of the choreography, there seemed to be a lot of nightclubs or slower dances, and that song just kind of grabbed me. I got to take some stuff from one of my favorite movies of all time, Pulp Fiction. I love Uma Thurman, so it just kind of bang, bang, bang. Everything kind of just fell into place. So any opportunity I get to do that dance, I'm all over it. So, and again, it's one of my favorites, hands down.
Actually, that's the video I chose to do my walkthrough post as my walkthrough video of the day on
I've seen
our
that.
YouTube channels was the Uma Thurman teach
Yeah.
from back in 2016 when you taught it at Windy City. So yeah, went back a little bit of time for you.
Yep.
4 years. So let's go ahead and touch on this. You're still working during all this time with the pandemic, with COVID-19. You're working in an ER. What's it like being out there on the front line dealing with this every day?
Uh, it's, the ERs in some areas are busy and booming and other ones are slowing. I want to say we don't see as many patients, but we're seeing a lot of sicker patients right now, which is unfortunate. I think one of the biggest problems, excuse me, people are across the country and across most countries right now are scared to go to hospitals, or they don't think we're open. And that's the complete opposite. We are open 24/7, and we want people to come to the ERs if you're sick, if you're truly having an emergency, because we don't want people to wait too long, and then they're too sick. And that's where you get to hear all these stories on the media about people on vents and everything. We are seeing that kind of stuff. We are seeing sick and dying people. It's unfortunate. I have some colleagues that have been sick. Obviously, we know some of the dance people have been sick. Some are still sick and getting through it right now. But the one thing, if I can convey as an ER nurse, I'm also a firefighter and I'm also a corrections nurse. So I'm working all three front lines right now, is to make sure people understand that, excuse me, that the ERs are open, urgent cares are open. And if you really feel that you're sick and you need to be seen, don't hesitate. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to go to an ER, urgent care. They're going to see you, say you're fine, and send you home. And that's a best case scenario from me as a nurse, is that, I'm able to treat you and send you home. What I don't want to see is people coming in on a stretcher and clinging to their life because they didn't know we were open, or they were scared that they were going to catch something while in an ER. Let me promise you, the ERs are sanitized heavily.
Right.
We are completely covered in PPE. We are consistently and constantly washing the ERs, the beds, the telemetry leads, the monitors, the countertops, our hands, everything. It is, beyond sanitized on, hospitals are normally sanitized, but we've just stepped up so much more
level, yeah.
because of this, because we want people to come and be seen if they need to be seen. Now, if you're not sick, use your primary care doctor, use your urgent care clinics, call 911, those are there, resources there for people that are sick. So, please understand, we are open. We are here to take care of you. And I would love nothing more to take care of 100 people in one day, if that's what it took to make sure everybody was getting healthy and the medical attention they needed to be seen.
Right. Hopefully we'll just go back to normal here sooner than later. So
Correct.
It'll be a little calmed down. So I know you're sticking to yourself pretty. You build your deck. You've been working out, sticking to the gym. What else are you doing besides work, and working on the house? You doing with this little bit of downtime you might have?
Oh, here, let me show you. Hey, Tiff.
I think he's going to bring in the dog. Everyone's going to get their wish.
Bring me Zeus.
I don't think he's going to fit on your lap mowing the lawn much longer.
No, I weighed him this morning. He's 32 pounds. He's Australian Shepherd / Rottweiler mix. We picked him up right after Fort Wayne. He was all of like 8 pounds when we picked him up. So this is my best friend, Bud. We do everything together. Look at that. Say, look at that. I love the kisses. Oh, I love the kisses. Say hi. Say hi, Zeus. Say hi, Zeus.
Hi, Zeus.
So when I'm not working, I'm here playing with this guy. We go for usually about a 3-mile walk every day, and then we play in the yard. He's been helping me build the deck, or should I say, like, grab at stuff that he's not supposed to. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love you too. I'm currently in my office, which kind of doubles as my gym. So it's funny when he sees the dumbbells and stuff, he's trying to grab them with his teeth and stuff like that. He hasn't quite been able to master the 50-pound fly yet, but he's working on the 2-pound curls. That's for sure. So, you're gonna get playful. Oh, you're gonna say hi, say hi to everybody.
He has gotten big. I remember getting pictures the day you picked him up after we had lunch before we got on the road from Fort Wayne, and yeah, he wasn't that big then.
No. So, and everybody can follow him on Facebook and Instagram. Zeus the Lightning. He had his first ice cream today, and oh boy, did he like that.
I bet.
All right, buddy, you ready to go back and play? All right, Tiff, come grab him. All right, say
bye,
bye,
buddy.
Zeus. Say bye. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye, Zeus.
Nanette just asked a good question. Are you having to take any special precautions having to come home from the ER when you come home to, with Tiffany there and the dog? Because I know Tiffany, you said, is not working that much, even though she does, because they're not doing many surgeries. So even though she's on call, it hasn't been that often.
Sorry, he's running all around here. She's trying to grab him. So, did you get him? All right. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No worries. This is what happens when you bring the dog down the set. Minor.
Sorry, guys.
Minor Zeus break.
And like I said, when he's in my office, he loves it in here. He's always chasing on the weights, and I got a couple of toys in here for him too. So, so what was the question again? Special precautions. Thank you, Nanette.
Yeah, Nanette.
So as soon as I generally go to work in a set of scrubs. When I leave work, I hit sanitize. I try to change scrubs there, get in my car, come home, and then I take those scrubs, and pretty much as soon as I walk in the door, everything comes off right into the washer, and then I take a shower right away before. And I work 4 in the afternoon till 3 in the morning. So Tiffany's sleeping, Zeus is sleeping. So after I'm done my shower, then I play with Zeus for usually a half hour, take him outside, whatnot. As far as Tiffany and I are concerned, we've been together for almost 21 years. We're both adults. We know that, the smart thing right now is to, love you. Hey, love you. We have a king size bed so we can both spread out and still be, it's not 6 foot, but it's still far enough away that, we're making sure everything is safe and being, cautious. Because the last thing I want to do is come home and either make her or the dog sick. And then we have an in-law apartment attached to my house that my mother-in-law lives there. So I try to restrict any kind of visits there as well, type deal. Because again, I don't want, my main concern is me getting someone sick, because, even though I don't feel sick, and people need to understand this, you can be asymptomatic and still spread the coronavirus. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or nothing like that, but when I leave out of the house to go to the store, if I need something, I put on a mask, I sanitize my hands, that kind of stuff. It's the little things that each individual person can do that on the bigger stage will help this end sooner.
Right.
I got in a conversation with someone the other day, and not getting political or anything, but they're complaining about government overreach and stuff like that. And I don't want to get into a he said, she said on the chat here, guys. But what I'm going to say is that it's kind of like when we were children. And me and Kelly, we talked about this yesterday or this morning a little bit about, your parents tell you to be home before the lights come on.
Right.
And you come home late. They tell you if you're home late again, you're going to get grounded. You come home late again, they tell you a third time. The next time you come home late, you're going to be grounded. It's kind of what the government had told us 3 months ago. Try to stay home, try not to get in big, all this other stuff. And, I'm just as guilty of it. All of us are. None of us were innocent of this. We didn't heed the warning. And then finally, Big Brother stepped in and said, if you guys don't want to do the right thing, we'll make you do the right thing. And now it's just gotten to another level.
Right.
Anybody agrees or not agree with it. Again, I don't want to get into a political thing here. But we were told months ago to limit stuff. And we as a society chose not to listen to that. And then it caused this overreach. So hopefully people start to take notice. We flatten this curve and we can get back to normal. What the new normal will be. And this is the one thing I'm afraid for as an event director, as a choreographer, as an instructor. The new norm obviously might be for some of us event directors is having to rely on local talent at our events because some of the people from Canada might not be able to travel to the US. The Europeans might not be able to travel to the US. The West Coast people might not be able to travel, or they might not want to. And I don't think it's going to be a problem because I think all of us are into it together. All of us event directors, work together fairly well over the course of the year before any of this happened. And I think we will continue to work together, instructors, choreographers, event directors, that we build a strong bond that all of us can survive this and continue on to do something that everybody loves and everybody wants to do. This is a great passion. This is my 25th year. I'm super excited to say that. I've been doing this 25 years.
Nice.
And if it's not for the people that are on the chat right now on the other end that come to our events and hire us and come to our classes and are online right now watching our interviews, we don't get to do this. And, from the bottom of my heart, I can't say this enough. We thank you and we love all of you guys. And thank you for continuing to support us, no matter if it's through virtual classes or interviews or, I have people that just Facebook message me every now and then and just ask me, hey, Derek, we know you're on the front line. How are you doing? Little things like that mean a lot to all of us, not just to me, but, reaching out to and you can pick out whatever name you want, Christopher Gonzalez, and saying, hey, Christopher, we haven't seen you for a while, haven't heard from you. How are you doing? And just that little bit is phenomenal.
Yeah, and this is kind of like we got a built-in show idea right off the bat. The question is, what event's going to take the initiative? And easiest costumes, mask and gloves. Whole COVID-19 themed show. I can see it coming now. The question is, what event does it first? Of who gets the first COVID-19 themed Saturday night show? I can see it now. So huge shout out to Tiffany, your lovely wife, who is filling in because normally Chris does a really good job, and I don't think he's on today, of popping up all the links to the step sheets, and she's plugging them in right away for me. So thanks, Tiff. I know you're in the other room dealing with Zeus, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, Maddie B, I want to just special shout out to you. Thank you. I got my card the other day. Thank you so much. I loved it. I love that seal. Thank you again. It really brightened my day on when I was this past weekend, I was really, really sick. Some people know that I feared that maybe I was finally catching the vid. And maybe it was just overexhaustion because I slept for about 20 hours, woke up Monday morning, 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And between me and my supervisor there, I pretty much finished the deck on Monday, which was nice. So,
nice.
But I honestly scared there for a little while there going, I've been around people. I don't want this, no one wants it, but I really, really don't want it.
Yeah. You do a lot of traveling. You and Tiffany are at a lot of events. Okay, before I get to that, you got JP and Big Jim and the thing wanting to know, do you really wear scrubs or you dress as a candy striper when you go to work?
Work or home?
I feel for Tiff if you dress as a candy striper at home. I don't want to see that costume.
Yeah, I got myself one of those sexy nurse costumes, at home. No, I don't. At work, I wear the basic navy blue, um, surgical cap right now, and then the
Yeah.
N95. I actually thought about coming on screen today with the N95 on, but when you wear this thing for 12 hours a day, 7 days
Yeah,
a
you don't
week,
want to wear that
any,
any more
op-
than you have to.
any opportunity you can get to take that thing off, man, I just don't want it on my face. Um,
Man.
so this is nice. I was growing a full beard. I was so excited because it was actually filling in for the first time in my 44 years. It was actually half-ass filling in. And then this all broke loose and I was like, nope, I'm going to go
Nope.
the beard. Nope. And then all of a sudden, a few friends reached out to me and said, hey, what do you know about this? I'm feeling sick. A couple of our dance friends that ended up getting, and I was like, you know what? I'm not risking that. And squeaky clean now, baby. Sorry, JP. I'll stop touching my face. Where's my hand sanitizer?
Okay, so back to the other question I was going to ask you. So, you and Tiffany are known to travel a lot. Y'all do come a lot of events.
Yes.
What is one event you'd like to come to, either as an attendee or as an instructor, that you've never been to?
Um, in the U.S. or abroad?
Either one.
Abroad, I would say the Crystal Boot. I've never been, and it just looks like something. A pinnacle is something that I would love to go to, whether it be as an instructor or as an attendee, either or. It just looks like there's people from all over the world that congregate in one place, um, and that would be fabulous. One event in the U.S. I would have to either Fun in the Sun, because I've only been to Florida, twice. I believe it's only been twice in my life, or no, three times now. Um, but it's always been in the off season, so I've not got to experience Florida.
Right.
So I'd love the opportunity to attend or teach there. Jennifer Cameron, Derek Steele, Fun in the Sun, or the Las Vegas explosion event. Doug and Jackie Miranda. That looks like just an unbelievable event. Again, attended very well on a whole from all over the world. So you get to
Right.
meet people not just from the U.S. or not just from Canada, but like a global community party. So those would be the three that I have not attended before that I would love to get to at some point for sure.
Your wife votes for spring break.
Oh,
Which that's true right
finances
now.
for spring break.
We would be in Myrtle Beach at Steve Scarborough's line after spring break. Shout out to
Oh,
him. I know me and Will made his post the other day. We're all disappointed we're not spending our week on the beach, doing our normal week of partying on the beach, doing a little line dancing in between. So huge shout out to Steve. Looking forward to next year. Um, so make sure you check that out. That's always a fun event to go to.
right. Yeah, that would be another one that would be up there on the list for sure. Because it's a little bit of everything.
Right.
The mini golf, the hanging out. I believe they do some karaoke, if I remember correctly. I thought I heard before. And again,
Saturday,
it's been
Friday
years
night
since I've
turned
been to
into
the
pretty
beach.
much craziness. Friday night, anything could happen when we go bar hopping down at Broadway at the beach. You never know what's going to happen. Willie White
Hey, Tiff,
Sox is out there.
hey,
Willie
Tiffany.
Brown, for those who don't know his nickname of Willie White Sox. He said that maybe next year they're going to rename it to the COVID Boot Awards instead of the Crystal Boot Awards.
Oh my God, yeah. Hey, if Tiffany's out there listening, can you bring me a headset? Bring me a pair of your earphones, please. My AirPods are dying. I can't
Uh
believe it.
oh.
So
so,
pole dancing, Kathy Mole, pole dancing.
yes,
Yes.
that it's not even a really round pole; it's a square pole. So Friday night at spring break, we never there's not a dance at the actual hotel. We go bar hopping at Broadway at the beach, and we always start at Fat Tuesdays, and they have $1 fireball shots the entire
Yeah.
time. So Junior Willis decided one year he wanted to call himself the greatest pole dancer, and needless to say, Will Craig and Johnny Two Step End up going toe to toe with him in a pole dance off in front of everybody, spectators, all of our dancers, and needless to say, it got a little crazy.
I'm just switching over headphones here. My AirPods are dead.
No problem. Shout out real quick to Maryland line dancer Frost, who saying hi from New Zealand. It's awfully early, I believe, there. I learned that from when Maddie was on the other day.
Wow.
So, New Zealand. JP says, look at you. You never have your music ready. You always forget your dongle. Now you forget to charge your earphones.
No, I charged them all.
Tiffany's like, welcome to my world.
I charge these bad boys all day. I need to get a hold of Brian McWhirter. Brian, if you're online, I need a set of new ones, buddy. Hook
Brian,
me up.
your resident Apple, our resident Apple person that we always call.
Well, that's it. It's, everything in front of me is Apple right now, and it's all because of Brian McWhirter. My wife doesn't like when me and him get together because I spend money. The last time we got together, I got this brand new iPad and pencil and all this stuff that I probably don't need, but I love.
Trust me, I feel your pain every time I call Brian. He's like, "What do you want to buy now?" I'm like, "Don't tell me that."
Yep. So Brian McWhirter, I need a new set of AirPods.
Jim, we will not discuss his dongle no more. It's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ask, since we might take a few minutes. Cool. Yes, Jim, we are the Kool-Aid drinkers. We do love our Apple products. So the question I've asked everybody, so I want to know what your answer is. If money was no object, where would you hold an event?
Excuse me.
And if money was no object, which I'm sure your business partner Jason would love this theory.
Yeah.
Who would be the first 5 people you'd call up to have on your staff? Considering we know Jason always like, no, you're not spending no more money. No, you're not spending no more money. No, you cannot add another instructor.
I get told that quite a bit. You guys know everything about me.
I do. I watch him do it. Every time you walk up to him at the desk, he already has the word no ready for you because he knows you're going to ask him something to do with spending more money. It's hysterical.
Yeah. So if money was no object, I would love to do something in Tahiti / Bora Bora.
There you go.
So it would be like, a vacation / dance.
Right.
So they have the overwater villas there, and be able to play with. Hey, Jason, what's up? He's on now. All of a sudden, we start talking about money.
We start talking about you spending money, and look who appears. Jason Miller.
So I would have to say Bora Bora, Tahiti. And the funny thing is, this hasn't been far off in my thinking over the past about a year and a half. I'm fairly new to cruising, and for 40 years, I pushed it off and said, no way. I was on my first cruise ship for 15 minutes with Jamie Marshall. We went to Alaska on the Bliss, and I called Jason up and said, where are we going next and how do I get there? So we've kind of talked about things, birthdays and everything. So in 2026, it's Tiffany and I's 25th wedding anniversary, and it's also my 50th birthday. So I am already seeking out something to celebrate, obviously 2 milestones, our wedding anniversary and my 50th. If I make it there, that's still 6 years ahead of us. But
I say, you're trying to plan 6 years ahead. That's plenty of time for her to kill you.
Yeah.
Bury you under that new deck.
Yeah. Or it's plenty of time for her to find out how to get rid of a body in Bora Bora too, and collect that insurance money. So, that would be something that I would definitely be interested in. I'm going to tell everybody right now, keep an eye out for that, because 25 years married to that beautiful woman and me turning 50 are 2 major milestones in 1 year for someone like me to hit. So, instructor wise, I always have to kick it back to my best friend, my best man, John Robinson. Without him, I wouldn't be the instructor I am today. Jamie Marshall, she took me under her wing when I was like 17 years old. I slept on her couch a few different times, Canadian kid down in, Louisville all by himself. And she took care of me down there, brought me to different places. Excuse me. One of my original mentors, and idol, Scott Blevins, another one. The 4 of us kind of like even though we all started roughly the same time, obviously they shot like rockets and I just kind of, but I was happy with that. But those three were definitely responsible for what you see today. So if you don't like this, you can blame them. Um, After that, Rachel, just for everything she's brought to the line dance world, the couples world, and just the dance world in general. She never ceases to amaze me or anybody else with her forward thinking and everything she's done for the dance world in general. And then the last one's hard. There's so many other people that I would like to thank and that I would like to say, but I'm going to go kind of off on the limb and I'm going to say someone new and upcoming because someone took a chance on me 25 years ago, 24 years ago, and gave me an opportunity. That was Mr. Bill McLeod. I was at an event in Kalamazoo. He had seen some of my choreography, some of my teaching at a local area, coughed up one of his classes at Kalamazoo, kind of like my first introduction to my wife. She was a door mom there. She'll tell the story one way, I'll tell it another way. I taught the class. She kind of went and snitched to James Kellerman, who in turn went to Dennis and Carol Waite, because obviously it was Bill's class, not mine. They finished off watching my teach. At that point, Dennis and Carol Waite, I love these people to death because they gave me my first major break on the dance world, hired me for all their events right then and there. So it was my first experience with my wife, Tiffany, as a snitch. My first experience with James Kellerman, that he was the boss back then of the line dance world, and then Dennis and Carol Waite. So I would have to say that I would, and I try to do this even today at our event, is bring in someone every year that might be known in their area, but might not be known globally or nationally. So we always try to invite someone. So one year we had Kayla, we've had Carrie Mouse, Jill Weiss, always trying to, even though they're powerhouses in their own right, they just might not be getting that national or global recognition at the big events that they deserve. So I'm always looking to see who that next person is that wants to step up to that stage and have a good time. So that would be my fifth. My fifth person is, that new kid on the block that is just raring and wants to come play.
Nice. Always nice to give a chance to the newbies.
Excuse me.
So Tiffany said if she wants to get rid of you, she has a perfect excuse now. She can just blame it on COVID.
Yeah.
So one of the other questions I want to ask you before we get to the end here, because we got still a couple, about 10 or 15 more minutes. Brandon's a horse. He gave me a question for everybody this week. JP, we need a name. Well, that depends on when he decides to hold the event. Whoever the up and coming is then. I get where he was going with that. Brandon came up with the question of if you could name yourself as a dance step, as your personality, what would you be as a dance step?
Well, I'm gonna let people comment on that for a second because everybody knows what step I would be. Anybody that knows me from the 90s. And I'm just interested to see if anybody will get that. So let's give them like a minute to chime in and see if they know what I would be.
Jamie, John, JP, what would a step be?
Tiffany can't answer. Excuse me.
Well, that would be kind of cheating if Tiffany answered. Jason Miller was the first one, and he nailed it on the right off the top of what you'd be.
Yeah, for everybody that knows me, obviously I'm Canadian. If you know any of my earlier dances, that's the second one right there, Julie Ellis. It's the skate or the drunken sailor.
JP says skate.
Whoever the hottest five.
JP, you cannot go back and change your answer for your 5 instructors to whoever the hottest 5 instructors are at the time. Okay?
Oh, Aaron's actually playing under Jason's name right now.
Oh, hey, Aaron, what's going on? For those who have never met Aaron, if you want to see some amazing, awesome decorations, go see some of the pictures that were posted from the Motor Cities years past. This woman is a creative genius. I love getting to work with her with coming up with different photo and video ideas. And when we go to create the new video for Saturday night at Derek and the Motor City, we do a video release of the next year's theme, and getting to collaborate this past year, got to do the video for them, and Erin, told me the theme, and she let me run with it, and it was fun. I'm loving it.
Are you able to post that at some point, maybe later tonight?
I can do that if I got to find where I put the video, but yep, I'll post that video up of what the theme is that we made for we created for next year to release the video, and the cast of characters. For those who don't know, his theme next year is The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
So yes, it's going to be a fun one. It's very, very fitting considering it's Halloween time.
Yep. So just for everybody, Motor City Dance Classic, October 29th through the November 1st of this year, barring any kind of COVID issues. Instructors this year, John Robinson, Joey Warren, Rona Kay, Jill Babinick, Jamie Marshall, Rosie Moltari, Lynn Martino, Tina Foster, Debbie Pancos. I'm going to keep going. Rhoda Lai, Carrie Mouse, Jill Weiss, Cody Flowers, Michael Diven. Your DJs are Michael Diven and DJ JP Potter. And I will also be teaching. And then we always sneak one in there. Jason hopefully is not online right now.
There it is.
She won't tell. We always sneak one more in there. And again, this year, check us out on Facebook, Motor City Dance Classic. We have a new hotel for those that have been at the old one. This is a brand new hotel.
I think the video of the hotel is still up on your Facebook page.
Cool. And I'll link that later today, and you can see this hotel. You can book rooms already. Gorgeous hotel, and it is in the heart of Troy, Michigan, which is like a food mecca and shopping mecca. One of the largest malls in southeastern Michigan is right next door to our event hotel.
Oh, nice. That should be fun. I know we usually always find a couple nearby places when we're up there, because luckily you've never hit, and I'm going to knock on wood here, you've never had bad weather, like horrible weather during that time up there, which has always been great. Like, there's been a couple where we can have some cold. It's been like cold, but like not like these massive snowstorms or anything like that.
Yeah, it hasn't been the cold, rainy, slushy. We've had a little bit of rain or we've had a little bit of cold, but luckily for us,
right,
we haven't had that, typical what people think of Michigan. And that's the thing. Up here in the end of October, Michigan is, for those that live here or that are familiar, we can have 80-degree weather in October and not even bat an eye, but we can also have 20-degree weather.
Right.
We haven't seen that in years. More often than not, we've seen those 60s, 70s, which has been nice. Especially hopefully this year with that huge mall next door. Like, it's got Neiman Marcus, it's got high-end stores, it's got medium range stores, it's got everything. So
everyone says great. Now I jinxed it. Hey,
yeah.
I was given the one task because I flew in before Kelly did, and I flew into the airport, and Tiffany calls me up. She goes, "Okay, you cannot leave the airport in the van until you have Rona Kay, Lynn Martino, and then Jill Weiss and her entire group from Connecticut." So I'm sitting there at the airport because I landed like 20 minutes before everybody, and I'm on the phone with Tiffany. I'm like, "Okay, who am I waiting on?" And she sends me this list, and I'm just sitting there in front of the door waiting for people to come in. And I look for people that start looking around, because I've never met Jill at that time or her group. I knew Rona and I knew Lynn. That was not a problem. That one right. I can handle. I knew them, but yeah. All of a sudden, I'm like, I think this is the group, because there are a bunch of like 8 or 9 of them, and boom. I called Tiffany, okay, I got the packages. Where do I go?
Yeah. And that's one of the things that Tiffany is so well organized with, is that for people that are coming in from
yes.
out of state that fly in, we can set their travel arrangements for them. Basically, they're booking their air flight, tell us, hey, we need a shuttle to and from the hotel. We set that all up for you and make sure we get you there and get you back. We're super excited. This is our 6th year, our 5th anniversary, and we're super excited. And we're just going to continue to grow and grow each year, and bringing new and exciting people, new and exciting instructors every year to the event. We love having Kelly and Kelly there, obviously, doing all our photography and our videos. Kelly, hats off to you.
Thank you, sir.
for everything you did with the videos this year at last minute, which was amazing. Another shout out to JP and John for all their hard work they do with the show, getting the music together, putting the choreography together. My first year, I've always trusted John with the choreography, but the first year I was heavily handed in it, and should have known better that, the staff that we have, we make sure that we pick a staff that's very cohesive together and plays well together, because I feel that if they play well together and have fun together, that kind of goes out to the crowd, and then it's just a bigger and funner party for everybody. Excuse me. So I've pretty much stepped away from anything to do with the show since year 2 I had a little bit, but year 3 I've been gone. John, does an amazing job, and all the instructors, they all have input, which is beautiful. For those that have never been to Motor City, the show's not a long 30, 40 minutes. Some people like that, some people don't. We like to keep it to about 5 minutes. Basically, we want to give the opportunity to highlight the instructors and then get everybody, all our family, up on the floor dancing, because that's what they're there for. They're there to dance, not sit in seats and watch us dance. So again, hats off to JP and John for everything that they do every year. And, we'll be getting together here before too long, and I'll be sending them a little bit of information of what I'd like to go. And they'll tell me, yeah, we got this. And it'll be which way I want to go. Kind of like what we do with Jamie with her show now is we get that script and we get that thing. And then all of us instructors just kind of go, yeah, okay. But I think that's what makes it fun, is not knowing what's going to come up.
Yeah, it's always a surprise because sometimes you don't know how John's mind works at all. Like he could be thinking you can think he's thinking one way, and he comes out totally the opposite direction.
Yeah, I think that's where I got it too. Is John and I spent a lot of time together the first probably 10 years of my career, and we traveled together, we roomed together, just nonstop. We have a ton of dances choreographed together. So people can check those out on Copper Knob. John and I, we're one and the same, but not the same. It's funny. He was my best man, 19 years ago. And then not too many years ago, I was his best man. And that just shows a testament of our friendship that, we are, I love that guy to death.
Yes. Huge shout out to John. He's an awesome, awesome guy. So thank you so much for coming on, Derek. It's been a blast getting a chat with you about your history in the world and everything going on. And I thank you for coming on, especially bringing on Zeus. That was fun.
I just want to say one more thing. Everybody, tomorrow night, I'll be doing the social distancing retro line. I'll be teaching one of my favorite dances of all time. Go figure, a John Robinson dance. So I'm going to be teaching Switchblade tomorrow. And, if people that have been doing the social distancing, they've seen some of the costumes and stuff. All I'm going to tell you is you want to check me out tomorrow night at 9 p.m., Thursday night, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. for the retro class, because I am going to go completely 90s. So those that knew me in the 90s, everything, dance, dress, looks, you're going to love it. For those that did not know me in the 90s, you're going to want to check this out. My wife is not excited by any means. She's got a lot of work ahead of her tonight to pull this off from 44 back down to like 24, or even 20 for that matter. So, make sure you come check us out tomorrow on the social distancing retro line. I'll be teaching Switchblade, one of my favorite dances by John Robinson. JP
wants to know what hair color you're going with.
So I guess you might have to check that out, JP. You never know.
So thank you for coming on today, man. It was great having you. And thank you for everyone out there who tuned in. It's a blast doing these for you. Tomorrow afternoon, 5 o'clock, we're going really old school, and I'm going out to the West Coast. I'm bringing on one of my good buddies, Michael Barr, on the show. I'm sure he's got tons of information he's going to gladly share with us on his history in dance and line dancing. So that's just going to be a fun time. Also, in a few minutes on our Facebook page, Kelly and I are going to be posting a post with some pictures on it. We need you to vote. We have a special project coming up, and we need a cover photo voted for. We narrowed it down to 4, but we want you guys out there at home to choose the photo. So tune into the photo. It's going to have 4 of them on there. Each one's going to have a different emoji assigned to it. Hit that emoji. That way, we're going to run that competition all the way up till Friday. Whatever picture gets the most votes is going to be the cover photo for a new project we're working on. So, tune in, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Until tomorrow, guys. See ya.
Thank you, guys. Love you all. Be safe. Love each other.